I really liked How to Train Your Dragon live action.
Okay.
I really liked it. I liked what they did. I personally gave it an 8 out of 10. I gave it an 8 out of 10 only because with live action movies, I haven't been a fan of doing this. I am a bigger fan of doing something different.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, why would you want to change the animated movie? The animated movie's so good. And that was me with Lilo and Stitch. Like, I know that you and I have differing opinions on Lilo and Stitch, but I felt like with the live action, I definitely prefer the animated movie over it. With this, I actually think I wouldn't mind if one or the other is on. I would actually debate which one I'd watch. Because what they did with the live action was really cool. I think that the best thing about it was it made the old animated cartoon feel like it's rushed in a way.
They extend it as longer?
They extend it, but they also allow you to stay in the scenes more. Like, literally at the start of the movie, they literally started out with like the main actor, I believe his name is Mason Thames. I believe his Thames or Thames?
Mason Thames.
Mason Thames. He narrates just like in the animated cartoon, and the sequences are almost exactly the same, almost. But then you definitely see the differences, and you definitely see it more extended out, where there's more talking points for certain characters, and even the dragons look insane. They look so good.
I've seen like some clips. I'm like, dude, what the heck?
I tried not watching any clips. I only saw the trailers, so I'd be fully surprised. But they did a really good job on those dragons. But the way Mason Thames goes in and talks, it almost sounds exactly like Hiccup from the old cartoon. He literally does a very good job playing Hiccup in the live action version.
He looks exactly like Hiccup.
Looks exactly like him, too.
It's kind of crazy.
I was like, you guys got the voice and the look of Hiccup, the voice actor and the stinking movie. That's awesome. But they did a really good job of extending these scenes. Because I was wondering the whole movie, I'm like, what are they going to do differently that's going to make me like this movie? And it's just, they didn't change that much to it. They didn't. They just added more to certain scenes. They added more talking points. They added more depth to it. And I feel like that's what you need to do. That's the formula right there if you're really going to keep doing these live action movies. Like, I don't feel like if there is something, because I feel like one cool thing is if an anime movie didn't work and you really want to try to like make it better, maybe change something in it, maybe. But with this, How to Train Your Dragon, it's perfect. Like, literally, it's a perfect story and a perfect lesson to other people about how you shouldn't be just like everybody else. You're perfect. You're good as you are. Your talent is what's going to change people.
Yeah.
And so I think that if you want to change something in another animated movie or an old live action movie, change it. But with this, don't touch it. And I think that's what they did. I think they just gave us more to certain things. They literally laid it out and they said, okay, let's extend this. Okay, let's extend this. Okay, let's extend that. Oh, you want to change it? No, we're going to give more dialogue and give more action to these certain scenes. I also love the fact that the director who made the animated movie was the director for this.
Yeah.
So I feel like this was his perfect chance to be like, oh, like he looked back at the animated movie and was like, maybe I could explain that a little bit. I feel like that's what he did. He watched the movie and he was like, maybe I could add a little bit more to this.
It is 30 minutes longer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Probably was 30 minutes more longer. But I feel like he just went, let me just extend this out. Let me have the actors have fun with this and then see if they could put more personality into it. Because I'm not trying to knock the voice actors. They did a very good job in the animated movie, and I still feel like I love those characters a little bit more than these characters in the movie, besides Jared Butler, because Jared Butler's still the same dude, but they did a very good job on this live-action remake. They're very good. Even the flight scenes, I was like, oh, this is tough. This is really tough. There were some things they did exactly the same, but I think it was the camera angles that mainly had me like, oh, this is really cool. This is a cool idea. But I really liked the How to Train Your Dragon live action.
Did you give a score?
I gave it an 8 out of 10.
8 out of 10.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. So I'm seeing like an interesting conversation, right? with Lilo and Stitch just coming out,
Mm-hmm.
live action just coming out, and Disney kind of just doing it a lot lately. This is DreamWorks' first like time doing this, right? This is their first time.
I was like, what is that?
It's outside. I wonder if that's
My bad.
capturing. Hold on, don't talk. It isn't. We're fine.
Yeah, it's awesome.
I was just making sure. Anyway, sorry. This is DreamWorks' first time doing this, right?
Yeah.
Like live action. Okay. Do you think
Mm-hmm.
that by not really changing anything, or like you said, they don't add anything to the story. They just extend things, right?
Yeah.
They just like flesh out certain things.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think that is the proper way of doing these live action remakes? Or do you think taking like different story decisions like in Lilo and Stitch is a more interesting option for live action remakes? Did that make sense? Did I word that correctly?
Yeah, I understand what you're asking. I think that there are two answers to that question because to me, instantly I'm thinking, no, you shouldn't do another live action movie. And that was what I thought when I saw Lilo and Stitch, the live action.
Like you shouldn't change anything?
You shouldn't change it because the animated version of Lilo and Stitch is perfect. Like it's actually a really good story. I was thinking, just extend it out, just like what they did in How to Train Your Dragon. But I feel like when you're doing live action movies, there is a reason to change certain things. Like I think that, for example, I'm trying to think of an animated movie that didn't do well or was bad. Well, for example, I'm just gonna say that if there is an animated movie that a lot of people have mixed feelings about because either it's the ending that it had, The Iron Giant. I know that there were a lot of people who had mixed feelings about that movie. I love it personally.
Is there really people that don't like The Iron Giant?
There's some people who didn't like it, and also it didn't do too well in the box office.
I know that. I know it made no money.
But I know that there were mixed feelings about, I believe, or maybe it was something else. But anyways, with The Iron Giant, if there are really mixed feelings about that movie compared to everybody else, because I loved it, maybe see what people really didn't like, and if you were to do a live action movie on that, see what you can change that still stays true to that story. Like if it has to be drastic, then maybe do it. If it has to be a little bit of a change, maybe do it. But I think that if there's a movie that everybody just loves, Lilo and Stitch, How to Train Your Dragon, there's been a lot. Aladdin, stuff like
Little
that.
Mermaid.
If there's The Little Mermaid, I feel like with those movies, just extend certain scenes out, because that's another thing with animated movies. They are so quick. They're like an hour and 10 minutes to an hour and 20 minutes. There are a lot of times I feel like there's directors or even script makers or story writers that maybe wanted more stuff to go into it. And if you wanted a live action movie, that's what you
And
could
that
probably
justifies,
go into.
that's what video games do. It's actually, exactly.
That's why I like How to Train Your Dragon, the live action, so much, because I feel like that's what they did with this. They just went, all right, what did we forget, or what do we want to add to this story? Not take away, add.
So, sorry, excuse me. What it seems like with, I think, like the general consensus is if you make a live action remake, if you faithfully adapt it, then people will love it. I think of Little Mermaid, where a lot of people hated on it because she was black.
Yeah.
But then once it came out, it made a lot of money, and it's pretty highly regarded. Like if you look at the IMDb score, I think it was like a 7.1 and 75. Like it was very high. Like because it was like, this is just Little Mermaid, right? I think of like the older ones too that Disney did, like Cinderella and Beauty and the Beast, that were all very like
7.2.
Yeah. That were all very like just accurate to the original, but again added things.
Yeah.
People like that more than like what Lilo and Stitch did, where it kind of changed the message a little bit.
Yeah.
Or like Snow White, where you're like kind of changing too much. Snow White though we've talked like it's a really weird situation where it was like they kind of did the same thing where they just added a lot, but just a lot of like bad marketing I think killed that movie. Doesn't matter though. Yeah. But like I think you don't want to change. Let's talk about The Last of Us 2. Change too much, people are going to get upset.
That's a very good example.
Faithfully adapt it, and people will be like, yeah, it's fine. My problem with it in general, though, is I just don't understand doing it in the first place. You know? Like, if that thing already exists. But, like, I won't argue if it's better, though. Like, if How to Train Your Dragon adds things, then yeah, there's value there. But to me, that'll always come off as just like let's make money because this is an IP that we have, you know? I guess that's where, like, the disconnect happens for me. But then again, like, I'm sitting here talking, but I'm gonna go watch it right now. Like, I'm gonna go watch it, so I'm the problem. But I think it's interesting when we go about making more live action remakes. I think we're gonna see more faithful adaptations now than when Disney was doing so many of them. They kind of felt like they had to change things to like justify what they were doing. Yeah. Right? Because like Lion King made $1 billion. It was very faithfully adapted, but people didn't like it just because it just doesn't work with. So they were like, okay, how are we gonna start changing things? Mix it up. I think Aladdin did a good job of it, where they like kind of gave Jasmine more of an arc. Yeah. But like, I think that was like the best example of it. After that, it was just like, all right, Lilo and Stitch, we're gonna change the message. I feel like they did one more that I can't think of. Or Snow White, let's just say that. Snow White, they like changed too much. Like they did too much, and it didn't work out. How to Train Your Dragon comes out, and it's like, let's go back to what Disney was doing like 5 years ago, 6 years ago, and 7 years ago, a while ago, and just faithfully adapt it, and let's see how people respond. And people loved it. So now going about the second one, I want to bring this up to you. The director said he is now more willing, because they're already working on the second one, he is more willing to start deviating from the original. How do you feel about that?
All right, so I am a bigger fan of the first one than the second and third one. I think the second one was cool to see where Hiccup is and everything, but there were some points in that movie where I kind of was like,
I think a lot of people say that, right? Like, a lot of people don't care for the second one.
I'm okay with the other three. I know they're for sure working on a fourth animated movie too, or there's rumors that they're working on a fourth animated movie also. But the first one is just very good. It's very good. It was hard to beat that one. I feel like the second one was pretty good, but it's not as good as the first one. The third one, same vibes, but I do think there are some things that can change in that I probably won't be mad at. That's one thing I will say. I don't think I'll get too mad, but it depends what those changes are. Like, the second one was where he finds his mom.
I know I've watched the first one. I never watched the third one because I remember wanting to. I think I've seen the first and the second one. No, it's dude, Phil, I don't care. Like it's like what? Like it doesn't matter. Actually, if they're remaking them, like realistically, I'll probably watch all the remakes. So don't spoil it for me. Gotcha. But I don't remember the second one at all. I don't remember the first one at all. So that's why I'm kind of excited to go watch it right now. Dang. But yeah, like so you're cool with them changing things then? Like it's fine.
I'm cool with changing things in that aspect because the second and third movie had things I didn't really like mesh with.
Okay, so then I want to dish it to the camera. We've never done this before. I'm gonna dish it to the camera. What do you guys think about them changing things? I think we'll have Tyler make a TikTok out of this. If How to Train Your Dragon 1, it hits. It's a faithful remake, right? We love it. It's great. Visually amazing, whatever. How do we feel about the director saying, moving on to the second one, and then hopefully even the third one, how do we feel about them changing things, deviating from the story, and like adding new things, changing some arcs? Do we want that? Like, do you guys want that? I want to hear like from like How to Train Your Dragon fans. Yeah. Like people that swear by those movies, because I know you guys exist. Do you guys like that? Is that a thing you want? Let us know in the comments, please.
Please do it. Do it. Because that is super interesting. Because I know a lot of people actually do. There are people who do love the second movie over the first one. There's people who love the third movie over the first one. But I would love to see what everybody else thinks.
Yeah. But I'm happy you think that. Like, I think that's a good place to be at, where like this one's so good that like I could trust them to like change things. And it's the same director. So like he's not gonna make like some crazy decision that's like gonna he's probably not gonna do something that's gonna be like, whoa, this is nothing like How to Train Your Dragon 2. Like Hiccup dies or something. Like that'd be wild. But yeah.
He's like, live action verse, Hiccup's done.
Yeah, we don't need Hiccup.
He's not coming back. I'm alive. I'm dead.